Welcome to Rage in the Cage TV, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Hernandez, and I am here with Roland, the Doomster Cerilla. We got our first fight underway. Josh Mace, Nate Charles.
Hey, I'm here with Josh Mace at a Fitness One, and where's that at?
It's out in Surprise, 303 in Greenway. 303
in Greenway. Hey, Josh, I know that you're a weightlifter. What made you want to get into MMA fighting?
It's just something that's fun. You know, I was bouncing for years and just kind of enjoy fighting.
Now, I noticed that you have a record of 0-3, right. 3 losses.
Right.
Is tonight the night you get to win?
I'm hoping.
Is getting the W tonight?
That'd be nice.
Hey, man, you know what? We wish you a lot of luck, man.
Yep.
All right, appreciate you coming out.
All right, thanks.
Fight fans, make sure you're there for Rage in the Cage, Friday, May 11th at Wild Horse Pass Casino. No Fear energy drink. You either have it or you don't. EZ Tattoo, Arizona's #1 tattoo studio. I'm actually looking forward for this fight. Him being a bodybuilder, you know, the past bodybuilders have never done that well in MMA.
I know, pretty soon, man. I'm just looking forward to the day maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger will step into the cage, too.
Now, this fighter I'm interested in, this is Daniel's little brother, and I've heard nothing but great things about this fighter.
From ACS, Arizona Combat Sports.
You're making your debut. What's it like having a brother and you're the younger brother? I mean, is there any kind of nerves going into this?
Not really. You know, I train with the best guys over at Arizona Combat Sports, and I consider it a blessing, you know, working with all of them. You know, my big brother, Clifford Starks, Jamie Varner. These are all vets in the game, so I'm ready to go bang. That's what I train for.
Now, how about the nerves? I mean, this is your first time getting into the cage in front of a live crowd here at Wild Horse Pass Casino. What's that like?
Of course I got the nerves. I'm very anxious. More than anything, I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go show my skills, and I'm just ready to bang.
Now, your brother, he claimed a knockout. What do you claim?
First round knockout. Or referee stoppage, but either way, it's ending in strikes.
So you're going to hit him 3 ways: hard, fast, and continuously.
Very hard.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're here at Rage in the Cage at Wild Horse Pass Casino, and we appreciate your time, and we'll see you tonight.
I appreciate it.
This fight was brought to you by Valley Protective Services, Arizona's top security company. Born to Bleed, Rage in the Cage official apparel company. Rage in the Cage Training Center. If you're interested in training MMA, please come visit us in Scottsdale. Ultimate Combat Fighting Challenge. If you think you're tough and you want to enter the event and you have no experience, please give us a call or visit our website. You want to fight Rage in the Cage? I dare you. Contact John at rageinthecage.com. You know what's interesting is the fact that 2 men are in the ring seems like one is so much bigger than the other.
That's true. You got the bodybuilder in Josh Mace against the seasoned MMA. Well, he's not very seasoned. He's an inexperienced MMA fighter, but he's trained as an MMA fighter. Josh Mace, who is trained like a bodybuilder. He's a bouncer in clubs. He's got an 0-3 record, so it just shows you exactly what bodybuilders, how they fare in the world of MMA.
I agree. You know, in a lot of ways I agree with you, but I just don't see bodybuilders doing well against MMA guys.
It's true. I see what you're saying, because he's a big muscular guy. He's not used to moving. You see Nate Charles, he looks a lot more agile. He's bouncing around. You can tell that he's practiced boxing. He's practiced wrestling. He's a little bit more toned. You know, he may be inexperienced in the cage, but he's a lot more experienced as a fighter.
I agree. The fact he's represented by ACS, as you can see right behind him, the former WEC world champion Jamie Varner. I'm going to have to put my money on Nate.
On top of that, he's got Clifford Starks, who has been making noise in the UFC, so he's got a great group of cornermen behind him. Josh Mace is a freestyle fighter. He's a bouncer who's turned into a cage fighter. This is what we're going to see when you see a guy who's a bouncer, who's a bodybuilder, who thinks he's tough, who's getting in there with an extremely inexperienced cage fighter.
I agree 100% with that. I totally agree. I just think this is going to be a mismatch. I really believe that.
Now, what do you see happening? Do you see a knockout coming, or do you see a submission coming?
You know, I'm not real sure, but I can tell you this. I can tell that Nate, right off the bat, has more technical experience than Josh.
Exactly. Oh, but looks like Josh caught him with a nice little right hand. Now they're going at each other.
Yeah, they're exchanging. They seem kind of wild.
Josh just swings with a wild haymaker and disconnects. Again, you say just that non-technical side to him. You see Nate, he's calm, he's composed. And now there he goes. He's pushing him up against the cage, throwing some fists. Now he's going for that guillotine choke. Oh, he's got it in tight, rolling.
I don't think he's going to pull out of it. I can see him. As you can see, he doesn't really know what to do.
Oh, he's got that cinched in. He's not going anywhere. And he taps. He taps. That's it.
That's exactly what I figured. You can tell if you come from a bodybuilding background, if you come from an academy that isn't really well-versed in MMA, that's the outcome every time.
Less than 2 minutes into the first round, Nate Charles gets his first Rage in the Cage victory. You see Jamie Varner, Clifford Starks, they're ecstatic to see their young boy. I'm sure Dan Charles is somewhere in the crowd cheering his little brother on as well.
Absolutely. You know, I was really impressed. It's pretty much what I figured. As you can see in the exchange, they seem a little lack of experience here because their exchanges, the hands doesn't seem that crisp, but it's okay.
You see wild punches, and then Nate takes control, just grabs him in that guillotine choke and cinches it in, doesn't let go until Josh Mace taps, and he shows him what a real fighter is. Not a weightlifter, not a bouncer, but a real fighter, a seasoned cage fighter.
No doubt about it. You can see the outcome. You can see MMA will always prevail against a bodybuilder.
Gentlemen, the official time, 38 seconds in the very first round.
Another victory for the Charles brothers, both men now undefeated in the cage. Dan Charles with the record of 5-0, all knockouts. Nate Charles 1-0 with the submission in the first round.
First time fighting in the cage here. Who do you want to thank?
I want to thank Arizona Combat Sports. Number one, you know, they're the best gym in Arizona. And honestly, I wasn't even nervous for this fight. I trained with guys like my brother, Clifford Starks, Jesse Barrett, just the best, you know? Come with us if you want to be with the best.
So that's a pretty good endorsement there from Nest In. I tell you what, everyone, because we do have some folks in, I'm going to get an individual that has over 100 wins in the cage to conduct these next interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, the most active MMA fighter in the world, Shannon the Cannon Rich.
Hey, how you guys all doing? Rage in the Cage here at Wild Horse Pass Casino. You guys can all watch this on AZTV. Hey, I got some really special guests. These guys right here are MMA legends. I'll tell you what, first off, we're going to start with Clifford Starks. Clifford, let me say a couple words to you here. If you guys don't know, Clifford Starks made his debut in the UFC. This is now a UFC fighter out of ACS, Arizona Combat Sports. Clifford, tell us about what it's like fighting in the UFC.
Hey, it's a great feeling. I love representing Arizona. I love representing all you fans and Arizona Combat. We're just going to keep stepping up and we're going to keep getting better and we're going to keep winning for Arizona.
Awesome. Hey, what do you got next? I know you just fought in the UFC. What's your next fight? You got another UFC fight?
Yeah, I have 2 more fights on my contract. I'm going to get a lot more. They don't have one scheduled for me currently, but I had a defeat, unfortunately, my first defeat, and I don't want that to ever happen again. And that's why I'm training with my boys, and I'm going to get some more W's for you guys.
Hey, everybody, put your hands together for Clifford Stark, Arizona Combat Sports. And next up, I got a guy that I don't even need to say his name. This guy right here, Jamie Varner. He's a UFC veteran. This guy's got a lot of ton of fights. Jamie, you're at ACS, you're at Arizona Combat Sports. You're training fighters right now. I don't know, are you managing them or just training them?
I'm just a trainer, man. The business side, I leave that to more business-oriented men.
Okay, what do you got coming up? You got anything coming up?
Well, I just knocked out Drew Fickett in 41 seconds, so...
Knocked out Drew Fickett!
You know, actually, I'm just waiting for the call to go back to the show, man. The UFC should be giving me a call any day.
Hey, you know what? Put your hands together for this guy. He's a legend, Arizona Combat Sports. You guys want to train? Go train with Drew Fickett. No! Just kidding. Hey, put your hands together for Jamie Varner.
Thank you, Shannon.
And we're back, fight fans. Rage in the Cage TV. We got Richard Palencia walking to the ring, a two-time state champion wrestler.
I'm with Richard Palencia, two-time state champion from Maryville High School, trains with ACS, Arizona Combat Sports. You look for the takedown tonight?
Yeah.
Now this is your MMA debut in the cage.
Right.
Rage in the Cage MMA debut. How do you feel?
Pretty good. I trained hard for this fight. I'm ready to go.
Are you nervous? Now let me ask you this: comparing a state championship going into the finals versus fighting in from a live crowd in the cage, what's the comparison?
It's about the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Still got the nerves going a little bit?
A little bit, but I'm ready.
You're ready?
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're gonna see Richard Palencia go out there and fight tonight. Hey, good luck, and do what you gotta do, buddy.
It's going to be an interesting fight. State champion wrestler stepping into the cage. And folks, this fight is brought to you by Title Boxing, the #1 MMA and boxing apparel company in the world.
The Octagon, Arizona's #1 MMA radio show every Saturday morning.
Remix Watches. How do you remix? Go to remixwatches.com or check out retailers nationwide.
No Fear, the #1 energy drink in Arizona. You either have it or you don't.
Now we got Travis Wallace walking the ring. This guy's got a little bit of cage experience.
Hey, I'm here with Travis Wallace from Knockout Fitness. Now, Travis, tonight, what are you going to be, the hammer or the nail?
I'm going to be the hammer.
You're going to be the hammer?
Yes, sir.
How do you see this fight going?
I see feeling him out a little bit, circling my corner, listening to my corner, and putting him to sleep real quick.
Hey, now I noticed this big ear here. Let everybody see that. That's cauliflower ear, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, how do you get that?
I got it from jiu-jitsu and some striking. I never wrestled, so I'm not a wrestler. I'm planning on taking him down with this right here. That's about it.
The big right hand.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Roland, tell the fans about some shows we got coming up.
Well, we got the UCFC Saturday, April the 28th at Moonshine Place in the city of Florence.
That's right. UCFC is where you can catch the amateur fighters before they step into Rage in the Cage.
And we're back Saturday, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo at Spirits Bar and Grill and Apache Junction. Rage in the Cage is back. You asked for it, you got it. Friday, May the 11th at the Wild Horse Pass Casino in Chandler.
Last show had over 1,500 people there. Be sure to get your tickets early. RageInTheCage.com.
On my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black.
You know what I'm really interested about this fight? The fact that he's a two-time high school wrestling champion. I could tell he's going to have a nice grind.
5'7" inches tall.
Now, explain the difference to people. Roland, you've been in the cage. You've been around the sport a really long time. Explain the difference between going from strictly grappling to a mixed martial arts where you got other sports like Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu. It steps the game into a whole different world.
Well, it's real simple. You get hit now. And some, a lot of wrestlers, a lot of guys that come from certain disciplines that weren't used to getting hit go into a shock factor, and a lot of times they can't handle it.
I mean, we've seen it happen with some of the bigger names in wrestling, collegiate champions, obviously state champions, and he's going in against a guy, Travis Wallace, who's got several fights under his belt. Now, do you think the experience factor is going to play a role in this?
Well, once again, this fighter right here doesn't have any ground experience other than jiu-jitsu. And, being a two-time high school wrestling champion, you know what? That has a huge advantage of the ground and pound system.
So you're saying that if the fight goes to the ground, that it's going to be all Palencia, but if this fight is stand-up, then it's going to be strictly Travis Wallace's fight.
Absolutely. You have to be a good black belt in BJJ to be effective against at least a two-time high school wrestling champion.
And this guy is no joke. We've seen Travis Wallace in Rage in the Cage before. He's had some really good fights, a really tough kid. And, two-time state champion, that speaks for itself. Straight out of Maryville High School, made his way to Arizona Combat Sports, and here we go.
All right, fight fans, get behind these folks.
Well, so far what I see, they're filling each other out. I'm kind of curious to see who's going to make the first move right now.
Looks like they're sizing each other up. Palencia, he's wary. He doesn't want to make that crucial mistake of stepping into a striker's game. And there he goes for the takedown, takes him right down to the mat, pushes him up against the cage, and hits him with the double leg.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I want to see how Richard handles his back game. A lot of these guys, they come from a BJJ program, but a lot of times they're not that efficient.
Wallace is pushing his way up, though. He had the underhook, and he works out, makes the escape, and now they're back to stand up.
I like what I see with Richard right now. I like the way he's controlling the fight. He's picking up the pace, but yet at the same time, it looks like Travis is holding his own.
And it looks like Richard's doing a good job of keeping the distance, and then he goes in for the takedown. Even though Wallace he sprawled the takedown and is keeping it stand up, Palencia still pushing him around. He threw in a few knees. He's still going for that takedown, though.
Absolutely. You know what I do like, what I see about Travis, I like the way he's holding himself together against a wrestler. He's showing a real strong base against the fence, while Richard is pressing, pushing him.
Now this could be dangerous, so he's wrapping that leg around him. Now Palencia's got him up. Now he's got no choice but to go wherever Palencia wants to let him go. Oh!
Wow, that was incredible. Look, he's going into a triangle. This is going to be interesting. I see Richard might be in trouble.
Wow, he's looking like he's got that cinched in pretty tight. Is Palencia going to be able to hold on?
You know, it looks like when Richard took him down, he wasn't really thinking about submissions. You know, being a BJJ player like Travis is, you got to watch out for these things as you take the guy down.
As soon as he hit the mat, you saw Wallace just instinctively go into that choke. And look, he's got him tight. Do you think we could see a tap?
You know, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like the triangle is completely fitted in perfectly. He needs to move the angle in a little tighter. It just looks like Richard still can breathe.
You see Richard pushing Wallace's hands away from him, trying to not let that thing sink in all the way.
Well, as you can see, the triangle is not completely polished. It's a little bit off. The angle's wrong. He's not pulling the head down. So as you can see, Richard still can breathe.
He's fighting, though. It looks like he's trying to hang on until the end of the round.
Yeah, absolutely. Richard's doing a good job controlling Travis's hands so he doesn't pull the head down.
Now, if he's stuck in here, you got a guy's leg right over the back of your neck. How would you suggest Richard Palencia gets out of this hold?
I'll be honest with you, he doesn't look like he knows what to do. He looks a little confused. It could be because of the fence. He doesn't seem to know the proper triangle escape from this position.
As you can see, Palencia, who's used to being a wrestler, if this were wrestling, he'd have had Wallace pinned down. And that's what the instinct is as a wrestler, is to keep your opponent's shoulders to the mat. In MMA, this is a totally different game. Pins don't count, pins don't matter. It's submission, and that's the end of the first round.
I was very, very impressed with this round.
And we're back. Richard Palencia, Travis Wallace. We're going into the second round. Richard Palencia, two-time state champion. Travis Wallace, a Rage in the Cage veteran, so to speak. He's got several fights in Rage in the Cage. Richard Palencia making his MMA debut.
Absolutely. I was very happy with the way Travis controlled Richard, going for the submissions. I didn't expect that. I was expecting Richard to dominate completely, but he really didn't.
Yeah, as soon as Palencia got that takedown, we saw Wallace go for that triangle choke, and that basically dominated close to a minute and a half of the first round. Oh! Did you see that kick from Travis Wallace?
You know what? What can I say? Travis is really, really impressing me right now. He is definitely an MMA fighter.
You see that, and then he tries to get him in that clinch and throw some knees. He's really controlling the fight right now. Palencia's in trouble.
Absolutely. It definitely looks like Travis is definitely more well-versed than Richard. Richard seems like he's strictly a wrestler, at least at this point. And if he doesn't change his game plan, I think he's going to get submitted.
Look at this right here. He goes for the takedown, and then Wallace, out of the instinct, the BJJ kicks into play, and now he's got him in that choke.
Yeah, it just looks like Richard's a little stuck. You know, he just doesn't seem to know what to do. He's relying strictly on wrestling, where Travis is definitely using every arsenal he knows, from his hands to his knees to his feet. I'm very impressed.
He's using it all. He's fighting like an MMA fighter, and Palencia's fighting like a wrestler. And this is the danger when you go from a state champion wrestler to a MMA fighter.
You know, I like this call. I like the simple fact the referee brought them both up. Didn't seem like nothing was going on. I was kind of bored.
That's a good call. And now we're going to see some action. These guys are back to the stand-up game. You see Palencia, he's a little bit more aggressive. He was keeping the distance in the first round. Now he knows that he's got to either go for a takedown. He's got to make something happen if he's going to get ahead. This second round is crucial.
Absolutely. As you can see, Travis definitely has a better upright game. His hands are more crisp, his feet are more crisp. It just looks like Richard's just not quite developed yet in the upright.
You can see it. You can see Wallace is pacing. He's back and forth. You know, Richard looks a little bit stagnant. He looks like he's just trying to avoid another punch or another kick from Wallace. And there he goes. He goes for the single leg takedown, takes him down.
Absolutely. You know what? Richard did a fantastic job taking him down. But you know what? I want to see a little bit more. I'm kind of bored of the takedowns. I want to see what you can do after the takedown. Let your hands go. Do something.
You can see it too. He doesn't know what to do. His punches aren't even looking that strong. It's not much of a ground and pound. It's just a ground and hold. There's a few decent punches right there. You can tell Palencia hasn't trained much in strikes.
Yes, he looks a little confused. He looks a little lost. He really doesn't seem to know what to do. He looks like he's playing it safe. And I think what's going on right now, he's going into a shock factor. And it's kind of like you black out and you can't think.
He's going off of instinct. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. But it looks like he's just opening it up a little bit right now. I'm beginning to like this a little bit.
And that's the end of our second round.
That was a tremendous second round.
We'll be right back.
Tattoos and piercings aren't accessories, they're works of art. At EZ Tattoo, we take the utmost pride in our award-winning work. Utilizing the latest technology and safest sanitation procedures, our artists are here to help with any questions or concerns. When it's time to turn your body into a canvas, we're the place to go. Owner Myron Larrabee invites everyone to explore Scottsdale's oldest and most respected tattoo studio, EZ Tattoo in Scottsdale.
All right, well, and here we go. Third and final round. How do you have this fight sized up so far?
I'll be honest with you. I got to go with Travis. I mean, other than the takedowns, it just seems like Travis was more active. He did a lot more things.
You think so? Even though Palencia had him down for the majority of the second round, you wouldn't give the second fight to Richard or the second round to Richard?
No, not me. You know, I'm one of those guys, you know, you can take the guy down, great, but let me see something else.
You want to see more action as soon as, once the takedown is there, that's only part of the game. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. I want to see some progression. This is not wrestling. I want to see some kicks, some elbows, some jiu-jitsu. I want to see a little bit of everything. Okay, you dominated on the takedown. Big deal. What else did you do?
Now, this is surprising because out of ACS, you see a lot of well-rounded fighters. You got guys like Nate Charles, who we just saw get a submission earlier tonight. You saw Dan Charles last week, who was a knockout artist. Knocked out his guy in less than 30 seconds in the first round.
I think what's happening is, I can assure you that Richard's fairly new in MMA. SES, I know, will get him ready eventually. But at this point, I think Travis is the superior MMA fighter.
You can see this right there. He snuffs the takedown. Oh, no! Richard takes him down. He still goes for the double leg, persists, and takes him down. And now you got Wallace again going for another submission from his back.
You know, I think a lot of times judges should really realize that when you're on your back and you're applying submissions, that should be credited in points.
How about that, though? That was pretty innovative. Palencia picks Wallace up off his back and just rams him back into the cage head first.
Oh, absolutely. That was a tremendous takedown, tremendous control. But once again, look at Travis. He's working himself back up. It just looks like Richard's lost. He really doesn't know what to do.
Now he's got him in that front headlock. Now it looks like he's just vying for position.
Yes, absolutely. He looks like he's just basically trying to survive. He doesn't really know what to do. Okay, well, he made a little move there. I like what I just seen. But once again, look at Travis.
But he's going behind. He's controlling him now. Looks like Travis is getting a little tired because Palencia's got all the control right now. Oh, no, maybe not. And then Richard Palencia again. He moves out of it and then goes back again, gets behind him. He has control. He is controlling him.
Absolutely. You know, I got to give it to Richard. He looks like he's opening it up. I'm beginning to like what I see. I think Travis is making a big mistake. He needs to get right back up. But once again, I think he's tired.
That might be what it is. And it might be that Richard is just getting used to a different game.
Absolutely. Richard's definitely putting the heat. Once again, wrestlers have the most incredible grind. As you can see, the grind is into effect, and Travis is getting tired.
Now, what do you think of these strikes? These strikes definitely don't look effective at all, but is that going to play for the judges that he's vying to make an impact? He's trying to wear down his opponent. Do the judges take that into consideration? And now he's just wailing on him. Wallace is on his back. He's in the guard. He doesn't know what to do. And there it is. That's the end of our third round. folks, it's time to see who won this battle, this 3-round fight that went the distance.
You know, I'm going to have to go with Richard. I think that last round could have been a 10-8 round. I think he snuck behind him and grabbed the fight.
Is
that what you're calling? You're calling it. You're calling a split decision, unanimous decision for Richard Palencia?
I would call it a split decision.
Richard Palencia. Judge B scored it 28-29 for the red corner, Travis Wallace.
Wow.
And Judge C scored it 29-28 for your winner by split decision, fighting out of the blue corner, Richard.
Well, once again, I think he won the fight because of the 3rd round. He controlled it, dominated it.
It was a really, really impressive display by Richard Palencia in his MMA debut.
Richard, first bout, you came in here, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Tell me how it feels to have your first win.
That's good.
That was pretty simple. Is there anyone you'd like to thank on behalf of this win?
I'd like to thank my coaches, my teammates, and everybody that helped me train for this camp. And ACS.
Ladies and gentlemen, put those hands together. Richard Palencia.
Congratulations to Richard Palencia on his first win. Rage in the Cage TV. We'll see you next week.